in US Denver. Sleep deprived and heavily caffeinated.
All right, let's do this then.
This is the Jeff and Bill Show.
I don't agree with that.
They don't always agree, but hey, at least they have coffee.
Coffee.
And each other.
I love you, man.
God help us.
I want to bless him. We need all the help we can get.
Now here's Jeff Hunt and Bill Thorpe. The Jeff and Bill Show on News Talk 710 KNUS.
Let's kick it off. 6 a.m. in the Mile High City on this Wednesday, August 6, 2025. Good morning, Denver, Colorado. You've tuned in to the Jeff and Bill Show, News Talk 710 KNUS. I'm your co-host, Jeff Hunt, along with Bill Thorpe, bringing you the freshest insights and hottest takes from the right, left, and center. Got a great show coming up today. We're going to dive into everything from Denver remaining on the sanctuary city list, as the Trump administration has revised their list of all the states and counties and cities that are on sanctuary cities or that are sanctuary policies. Denver remaining on it. And in fact, it's the only city in Colorado remaining on the sanctuary list. We'll talk about what that means. We're also going to talk about the Clinton Epstein subpoenas that are coming. And the New York Times did an interesting expose on Epstein that included letters from Woody Allen. Yeah, Woody Allen.
Yeah, it seems like he got a lot of letters. I don't know.
Referring
weird.
to Jeffrey Epstein as Dracula.
Yeah.
Count Dracula. And then, of course, discussions about how Woody Allen's wife helped improve the food offerings that Jeffrey Epstein provided.
Yeah, because evidently he'd serve just like takeout or sometimes almost nothing. Like when you show up at the hotel and they're like, yes, breakfast provided, and they've got like a plate of donuts, a plate of bagels, and a thing that's got cream cheese in it, and the other thing's got butter in it, and you're like, that's not breakfast, but okay, sure. Yeah, it's kind of what it sounded like sometimes. It was weird. That was a weird, and how he decorated the house too.
Yes.
Weird. Yeah, very weird. They talked
There's
about
a lot there
Yeah.
because I've been around some famous people sometimes, and they exist on a different plane, and they like to get together with other famous people.
Yeah, they do.
Right?
Because of commonality, because they live in a level of the world that the rest of us don't. So having dinner with us is boring. And they can't share anything with us.
100%.
Yeah, it doesn't. They don't have the same experiences. So in order to share the same experiences, you got to go hang out with the famous people. Yeah.
It's why there's things like the Bohemian Club.
Yeah.
Right? So all the influential people can get together, hang out, and talk. So he would host these really lavish parties, and everybody loved it. And you'd have like the top chemist in the world, and then you'd have the top cello player at the New York Philharmonic, and then you'd have actors and actresses and political leaders and business leaders, like all together at these dinner parties. And they were like, nobody entertains like Jeffrey Epstein does. It's wild.
It was a weird. There were a couple of people talking about at the writings, and I think Woody Allen even talked about it in the letter. Just a unique collection of people that show up. And then the other part though is that they're the secrets. There were things inside of that New York Times article that talked about kind of a understood secondary level in that social circle that Jeffrey Epstein had secrets. Nobody, per se was too curious about it, but everybody knew there was something in the closet. It was weird how that just kind of, that cloud hung over some of what their descriptions were. This idea that people were like hanging out with him and it was fun and this was interesting and this is famous, but there's also something that's a little off. There's something that's a little off, but nobody at that time, when you're hanging out in this famous groups, were necessarily curious enough to start digging. So you didn't, no one was like, well, I wonder why this is so strange. And we find out later as to what the reasons were. But it was interesting to see how many of those people were like, yeah, but it's a little weird. Yeah. Like even Woody talking about, it's weird that you'd have this lavish house, you bring all these people together, and you serve crappy food. It's like that's something off there, and he was asking some questions. So, we'll talk about it.
So Woody Allen's letter to Jeffrey Epstein got published in the New York Times, and this was one element of it. We'll get into it more in the 7 o'clock hour, but I say well served. Often it's by some professional housemen, and just as often by several young women reminding me one of Count Dracula, where Lugosi has 3 young female vampires who service the place.
Yeah.
Add to this that Jeffrey lives in a vast house alone. One can picture him sleeping in damp earth, writes Woody Allen in a letter to.
And to make it more awkward, they cite a media mogul that said some of the ingredients in the meal were things that would enhance, quote, Jeffrey's sexual performance. Excuse me?
What?
Pardon me? I'm just saying that usually if you come over and you have a dinner with a bunch of friends, etc., and they say, you know, part of the menu is designed to enhance our sexual performance, you'd go, I don't think I shaved enough for this kind of party. I don't think so. I'm definitely not in shape for this.
He had a sculpture of a bride clinging to a rope dangled in the central atrium of his mansion.
That's a weird metaphor. It's a really weird metaphor because to place that there, one, I understand the art piece and what they're talking about, but there and in the atrium, that's a weird metaphor to decide that's where you're going to display it. Because that's when everybody walks in. That's, okay, yeah. And the guy that's unmarried. So, okay, yeah.
Just continues to get weirder and weirder. We'll cover that in the 7 o'clock hour. And what is the House Oversight Committee looking to get from Bill Clinton, as they call him to now testify?
I got a question on that.
Subpoena.
Because, Comer's running around. We're going to subpoena. Okay. After and I'm using this air quotes, bang-up job he did looking into the Biden crime family, are we expecting anything? Anything at all? I mean, because it's like he didn't prove himself to be Sherlock Holmes. He proved himself to be Mr. Magoo. So, I mean, are we really expecting anything? Well, we'll get that later.
Remember, this effort is primarily led by Democrats on the House Oversight Committee because it required 3 Republicans to vote with the Democrats in order to kick this thing off. So, what do you expect out of all this? We'll get into this in the 7 o'clock hour. 8 o'clock, Jimmy Sengenberger is going to join us. He's got a great piece about Do Better Denver in the Gazette and what the Denver Post is trying to do. And he hints that this thing seems to be being pushed by Mayor Mike Johnston. I won't hint at it. I think that this is an absolute political hit piece put out there by Mayor Mike Johnston in an effort to squash one of his opponents, and the Denver Post is doing the political bidding. I think that's exactly what's happening here. So we'll get into that in the 8 o'clock hour. 9 o'clock, Kelly Swan's going to join us. He's the founder of Filling the Void. Great ministry that saved the lives of one of the employees that works here and helped bring redemption to one of our producers. This is going to be a powerful story in the 9 o'clock hour. You're not going to want to miss it. But now it's time for News and Comment with Blake Olson.
Blake Olson.
Blake Olson, News and Comment.
Hey, good morning. Wednesday, 60 and cloudy outside. It's beautiful. Expecting a high of 96 today. This portion of the news sponsored by Pastor Camp Heating and Air Conditioning at 303-777-1234 to learn more about special savings opportunities on Lennox equipment. Our top story, police investigating a deadly crash in Lodo that happened Tuesday afternoon near 20th and Lawrence. A pedestrian was pronounced dead at the scene. Police have not released any information about the victim or cause of the crash. Denver developers will no longer be required to include minimum number of parking spaces in their projects. The Denver City Council passed 2 parking-related ordinances during their meeting. The measures will let developers determine how many parking spaces will be included in new housing and business construction. The ordinances were passed a year after Colorado lawmakers outlawed parking minimums for housing developments near transit stops. Beginning in 2026, drinks containing over 5% of sugar or artificial sweetener content per 12 ounces cannot be purchased through SNAP in Colorado. The governor's office says the state's obesity rate is just under 25%, despite being one of the healthiest in the nation. Colorado joins 5 other states in excluding soda or junk food from their respective food assistance programs. Some 50 Texas Democrat lawmakers have left Texas in an effort to stop the GOP-led legislature from pushing through a redistricting effort, of course, that would give Republicans an extra 5 seats in Congress, something that happens every cycle, especially by Democrats. DJT on the issue.
Well, I think they've abandoned the state. Nobody's seen anything like it, even though they've done it twice before. And in a certain way, it almost looks like they've abandoned the state. It looks very bad. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Should the FBI get involved? Should the FBI get involved?
Well, they may have to. They may have to. No, I know they want him back. Not only the Attorney General, the governor wants him back. If you look, I mean, the governor of Texas is demanding they come back. So a lot of people are demanding they come back. You can't just sit it out. You have to go back. You have to fight it out. That's what elections are all about. Yeah, please.
Thank you.
Yep, exactly. Clowns. And Shanae, who's afraid of losing her gig in Texas, teams up with another Texas politician here. What she says is just so ridiculous and tired. It's 2025, please. But honestly, I do not think she knows who she's standing with here. I think she forgot her name while she's doing this video. Here's Jasmine Shanae Crockett.
I am Texas Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, but I am standing here with one of my faves right here, honey. Yes. Listen, and guess what? Neither one
Wait a minute, what's her name?
of us are in Texas. You know why? Because we know that it is time to stand up, rise up, and fight back against these fools that think that we're weak. One thing that they should know, when it comes to a black woman and a Latina,
that's right,
they're about to get a little spice, okay? And that's exactly what they got. So right now we are fighting for our rights in this country. We are fighting for democracy. And I just want y'all to know that I'm standing 10 toes down with my homie, the representative from the great state of Texas.
That's right.
Yes.
Then I have no idea what your name is. She went on, and you could just see her face. She's building, the girl, 10 toes down with my homie, with my girl. And we're just going to, I have no idea what your name is. Oh, love it. Love it. She's so genuine. U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff has arrived in Moscow. I always say Moscow, because Moscow, Idaho, they will just destroy you if you say Moscow.
Really?
So, yeah.
Moscow?
It's Moscow.
Moscow,
Idaho.
Like
So
Buena Vista.
So it's it exactly. So I get in my brain, and then when you're talking about Russia, it's Moscow. It just sounds weird.
So I spent 10 days, 2 weeks in Moscow over spring break in college.
Yeah.
And every day around lunchtime, I got arrested.
I remember you saying that.
They just would hear me speaking English out in the streets, and they're like, lunchtime. Problem with passport. Does $20 take this problem away? Yes, it does. All right. Enjoy your McDonald's Happy Meal. It was such a corrupt country. It's so corrupt, man.
No doubt. Absolutely.
There's like no line between the mob and the political leadership there.
Man, that's crazy.
Same people.
So lunch would cost you what, 20 bucks extra every day
walking around. And I was there with a great mission organization, but the cops would just like, it's lunchtime. Here's an American. Problem with passport.
What an experience! You should have had your honeymoon there.
Yeah, like Bernie.
Yeah, like Bernie. You really should have. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, of course, right? Beaches?
Your wife would have loved that.
The Soviet Union. Dude, if you were the wife and this is where your husband took you, it's called annulment.
Right, exactly. Wow. All right, 47 has set a Friday deadline for ending the Russia-Ukraine war, or more tariffs will be slapped on Russia. Speaking of Russia, the subpoenas are out for communists like James Comey, who pushed the Russia hoax and would yuck it up with clowns like Stephen Colbert on TV as they pushed the lie to destroy DJT. Who knows what will happen in all this, whether it's Epstein or the Russia hoax. But you know what? Just remember this. Comey sitting there with Colbert.
You went in January of 2017 to tell President Trump about the Steele dossier. How did you tell him that there was and I want to put this delicately, pee-pee tape? How did you tell him about...
Oh, that's so funny. And Comey sitting there laughing, like, just kind of holding his smile back. What an innocent little guy. What a nice guy, that James Comey.
About that rumor.
I spoke about information, unverified, that related to an allegation that he was with prostitutes in a hotel in Moscow, and that...
What a freaking liar. Wow. 47 says crime in D.C. may require a federal takeover after a former Doge staffer was assaulted.
Oh, dude,
yes.
The pictures of this.
It's horrible. I mean, not surprising, though. DJT posted that crime, you know all about this. You used to live there.
Yep.
And you're there a lot. Crime in D.C. is out of control and threatened that if the city doesn't fix the issue, we will have no choice but to take federal control of the city. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's warranted at this point because of how poorly it's been managed. And this isn't just a few years. This is decades upon decades upon decades of bad management by corrupt... Yeah, I mean, do you remember Marion Barry?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
Cocaine and prostitutes all caught on video. And then I think he got reelected.
Yes,
So,
he did.
Right?
Yeah, he did. He was genuine also. He's just a real guy.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a dump. And to be taken over. And nobody that works in D.C. lives in D.C. You have a small group that lives around Capitol Hill, and it's mostly like interns, and there's 8 of them into a row house and all that stuff. Most of the lobbyists, most of the members, they're not anywhere near the actual city. No. They all live out in McLean and Vienna, and that's why McLean, I think McLean, Virginia is the most wealthy zip code in all of America. So they're not willing to live there. They're not in control of it. They're not going to do anything about it. And, this is decades, if not 100 years of mismanagement there. So, why not? Wow, it can't get any worse.
Yep, I agree. Tuesday, DJT also signed an executive order to lead a task force for the 2028 Olympics, so Gavin Newsom can't ruin them and steal all the revenue. 80 years after the U.S. dropped the atomic bomb on Hiroshima, here's another one. I say Hiroshima, a lot of people say Hiroshima. Thousands gathered today in the city to remember the dead and warn against repeating history. Actress and producer Kelly Mack has died at 33. She battled a rare cancer affecting the brain and spinal cord. Howard Stern, the sellout, is being canceled by SiriusXM. Rockies lose to the Jays 10-4. Getaway day today at 1:10 at Coors Field. Broncos training camp continues. And the first preseason game Saturday against the Niners, the obligatory preseason game against the Niners. 58 in Castle Rock, 59 in Brighton, 60 in Denver. Jeff and Billy continue.
My dad said we saw 2 men kissing one another in Rodney Square when I was going in to get a license. And I looked at him and he said, Joey, it's simple. They love each other.
That's it. That's how I look at it.
Howard Stern. Blake Olson, News Talk 710 KNUS.
Your 710 5-day forecast, there's going to be a tinge of haze and smoke in the air across the Denver metro. Mostly sunny, hot temps in the mid-90s this afternoon with clear skies tonight, mild still in the middle and upper 60s. Upper 90s for Thursday and again for Friday. We're going to finish the work week mainly dry with some of those brisk winds, lows in the upper 60s. Weather brought to you by L&L Heating and Air Conditioning. For quick, trustworthy, and dependable service, call 720-851-1691 or visit them online at bestdenverhvac.com. You'll be comfortable with L&L. Meteorologist Don Watzel in the 710 KNUS Weather Center. Contract expiring. He's not necessarily being fired.
Right.
It's just the contract is expiring and they're choosing not to re-up. That's happened recently. Those of you that pay attention to what's going on in the Denver market, we got a TV station that recently has one fewer person giving you the weather. Her contract was up. They just didn't renew it. So that happens all the time.
I mean, it is. Look, everything's always changing in the world, so you got to adapt to it. We're going through such a media transformation right now. I think about this all the time because you and I work in it, and
it's like bad life choices.
I'm engaged across it in lots of different avenues, from a 4-hour talk radio show to a live to regularly tweeting, posting on Instagram, Facebook management, everything you got to do, blogging, all that you got to do to try to build a career in this industry.
Or I go the other direction, and I spend the rest of my day normally doing music and stuff. That's where I go.
Yeah.
So I'm going the other direction inside of the media that's out there as well. So, we both do this, and then we go out and experience media through different filters the rest of the day. So, continue.
Well, and I was talking to you about how funny it is, because we have a radio show, and people listen to it. And then I tweet yesterday about how much better Colorado Mexican food is than California Mexican food.
Oh, yeah.
54,000 impressions.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's such a funny world. And then I never got into satellite radio.
Yeah.
Because you had to pay for it. And Howard Stern was not somebody that I was so eager to listen to that I was willing to pay for it.
Yeah.
So how is that industry doing? How's satellite radio
That's okay. Well, painful. It's the idea that there were two companies and then merged into one. There always is just going to be room for one in that space. We have a subscription, so it's in 2 of the cars, not in the car that I drive on the daily, but I get to sample it when I'm driving other vehicles in our family. And it does serve a place. It's not necessarily overly expensive. It's not cheap. I don't remember. We have an annual thing and cuts because we've been doing it for so long. So what we pay is fairly minimal. Access to information is amazing based on satellite radio. The thing that I found the most beneficial, we got it when the kids were younger, is because we would drive and go up into the mountains, and it's the same radio station the entire time.
The entire time.
Yeah, so I didn't have to change. The reception was fantastic, so that was really good.
Yeah, we were having to seek to try to find where the K-Love station.
Exactly. So that's the idea, is trying to find that. Although Denver, this is the weird part, is where they put the satellite in geosynchronous orbit. Denver sits on kind of a curve of where the Earth is, so we get some dead spots in certain areas simply because of where satellite coverage is, how satellite coverage works. So there are some times there are some dead spots. It is as far as niche programming, it's absolutely phenomenal. If you're mad that there is a music radio station, and you're like, oh, they play too much of this, I'd like it if they didn't play that. You could find that radio station on Sirius XM because they micro bifurcate every single little genre out there, and so
Romanian Latin.
Oh yeah, exactly. If you like hip hop, they've got 7 stations, and they can do different things in different eras and different kinds. And
then you have
that's it.
Pandora and Spotify, and I can make my own station now on Pandora, like Johnny Cash, and then I mean, it's exactly what I want. It's exactly what I want.
But is it? And here's the reason why I asked that.
Yeah.
Well, and here's the reason why I asked that is that a couple of things. When you create the things in Spotify and Pandora, it does give you the exact music that you want to listen to at that moment.
Correct.
But where the algorithm fails is on 2 levels.
Yeah.
One, personal involvement and engagement. It doesn't engage you personally with what's going on. It becomes a soundtrack. So it's nothing different than playing a CD or turning on just music in the background because there's no individual engagement. That's where SiriusXM tries, and some stations do better than others there as far as engagement. The other thing is the algorithm. The new music discovery in Pandora and Spotify is really awful. You really have to curate if you want to find new music. So
they'll try to like advertise it to you, like click here to listen to my new song. Hey, this is Keith Urban.
Yep, and did that on the network, satellite network, for years. The idea that we would actually run those new music teasers during advertising breaks is normally where we'd run them, and so my guess is that's what Pandora is also doing as well. And so if you don't have an advertiser that fills that 30-second or 60-second slot, we would have an artist feature that would pop up, and it would be a new artist that you're trying to break, or it's a new song by the artist. You know, hi, Keith Urban, you're going to hear my new song, blah, blah, I was writing it about this. Here's a piece of it. And then afterwards, that's my new song, check it out, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we did that on the satellite for a number of years, God, at least a decade or so. We've been doing that one. Talk is a little bit differently. Where I like it, sports, I can go and find almost any sports broadcast, including the away broadcast of our local sports teams. So when the hated Las Vegas Raiders are in town, I can go listen to the Vegas home broadcast. That's fun. For me, that is really fun because I am getting a different perspective on my team. I really enjoy that. And the fact that I can find almost any international soccer game that I want to, that's great. Now, Stern, on the talk side, Sirius and Talk hasn't done as well because of the interaction. Because am I going to call a national show of a number of people that are there? Stern, I have a friend that's a really big fan of Stern, and so he shares a lot of stuff with me, and it's in my social media feed, and so I see a lot of things that he's doing. For me, Stern is still relevant because I still think that he's probably the best interviewer in the radio game. I have a hard time thinking of someone that is a better across-the-board interviewer. And the reason I say that is because Howard Stern has some sort of a weird superpower. And I wish I could understand what it is or how we cultivated it, or is there a theory or process behind it? And here's the superpower. People will tell Howard Stern things they wouldn't tell their mom or their priest. And I don't get it.
Yeah.
But they sit in that studio and they just lay bare some of the most private thoughts, ideas, experiences, and I can't figure out what it is. I have some theories behind it, and nobody who's listening to the Jeff and Bill show this time in the morning cares about that, so we're not going to talk about those. But that's his superpower. He is a fantastic interviewer, and I think that's why he's been able to stay relevant, at least in that market size, is because he has these interesting conversations. He's no more the, hey, girls, show me your boobs. It's no more of that. It's not the salacious stuff. He's also, and you talked about it a little bit off air, gone a little more political. And I don't think that serves him necessarily as well. I think that hurts his audience that he was trying to cultivate. So, yeah, what will happen in Sirius, in my mind, is his contract will expire. Sirius is not going to re-up for him. But what they're going to do is they are going to cut him another enormous check, and that'll be for his back catalog.
Yeah,
they want to run his back
catalog. Just run that stuff.
Yep, exactly. I mean, they run him all the time right now on repeat anyway. So
there's another wild story of this. I was watching a program done by producer Patrick, who I follow on Instagram. Great guy to follow, about how AI is changing news and Hollywood. So he's in Shanghai. Shanghai right now has entire news programs where the story is written by AI, and then dubbed over AI actors in real time, translated into multiple languages in real time. Even sign language is produced in real time. The only human element in the entire thing is just an editor.
Yeah. And that's a little scary because
That is wild.
Yeah, and because the idea of the AI, we've seen this, and this is the problem that I see with the idea of the generated for AI news.
Yeah.
Is that we've talked about it, that studies of AI have shown that if you ask AI to write something for you, that if you do it on an individual basis, it seems unique, it seems polished, seems good. But if you look at it as a whole, meaning that you hand that same assignment to 7 people, you end up getting the same thing back in a large portion.
Yeah.
So if we're talking about going to AI, what we're talking about is we're talking about going to homogenization of news. That it doesn't matter. And if you think you're mad at Channel 9, you're like, oh, well, it'd be great if we didn't have Channel 9. Hang on. What if all the AIs read the news like Channel 9?
Yeah.
And if you're on the other side, what if they all read it like Fox News? And that's the problem that we have. This individual creativity is going to go out the window because AI is only going to look back at stuff that was done in the past and then repeat it and spit it on back to you.
But at the same time, you have the rise of programs like Do Better Denver that is aggregating, because everybody has a cell phone now, aggregating real-time exposure to what's taking place in ways that news from the 70s, 80s, 90s could never have done. It had to be reported and then edited, and then that's what you got and you consumed. Now you can open up your X account and see posts of a shooting that took place just 5 minutes ago.
Yeah,
so
but
while
part of that's
you
technology, though. Yeah,
while you
of course.
have AI that's kind of centralizing all of it, at the same time you have a dispersity of content that's totally unique in world history. So,
oh yeah, it is, and part of that is technology because radio always used to have the advantage that we were immediate, where TV would have to come down, set up a camera, take tape, feed a satellite image, record it, edit it, turn it back around, and then put it on the air. Where with radio, we could almost just put up the stick and run it right there. Or it's easier to edit audio than it is to edit the video.
Correct.
So radio was always the immediacy, but then again, is everybody walking around with the radio all the time? Well, just like my math school teacher and my math teacher told me in middle school, the idea that, hey, you got to know how to do all this math stuff because you're not going to walk around with a calculator in your pocket. Well, I got one of those. And we all have the ability to stream information in our pocket as well. So the delivery is a problem. And I go back to Peter Boyles, and I remember at over the Death Star, one of the interns came up one day, and he tells the story because Pete always wanted to have the paper. And the guy walked up, had the paper, tossed it on, and goes, there's yesterday's news. And that's it. That's really what has happened because the immediacy. And but the problem is, if you look at AI, again, it's going to be homogenization. That you're looking at the idea of, hey, Do Better Denver is doing a great thing. But what happens if Do Better Denver begins to look exactly like the social media feed of Channel 7? That's exactly like the social media feed of Channel 4. That is actually like the social media feed of 2 and 31, which is Channel 9, which is because if they all start using AI, what we've seen in studies is it creates homogenization.
Yeah, right.
It doesn't create differentiation or even competition. You're not looking to do it different and better. You're just trying to hit that C+ score that everybody else has done in the past, and I'm just going to repeat it back to you. You're not looking for A-level content. You're looking for C+. You're looking for the average, the median, the mean. That's what you're shooting for with AI. You're not trying to break ground. You're not trying to be the best news reporters. You're just trying to be good enough.
Interesting. Well, love to hear from you. Give us a call, 303-696-1971. Text us on the Dan Caplis Law text line, 720-819-5115. Bill, you know who's not just being good enough, but actually delivering greatness?
Who is that?
Our friends at the Black Eyed Pea of
Oh,
Colorado.
heck yeah.
Locally owned and operated by Steve and Michelle. This ain't no AI restaurant. This is home-cooked food delivered fresh to you. Love this restaurant. My whole family does. With 8 locations, there's sure to be one near you. It's Colorado Cookout and barbecue time at the Black Eyed Pea. Their August menus featuring backyard combos, the St. Louis rib combo, or the barbecue 2-meat combo. They have barbecue pulled pork, barbecue chicken breast, barbecue smoked sausage. So good. Maybe you're hankering for a sandwich. Try the grilled barbecue Polish sausage topped with grilled onions, or you can do the tender, slow-cooked barbecue pulled pork sandwich topped with coleslaw. Both are served on a toasted brioche bun. They also do catering, dinner party, rehearsal dinners, wedding receptions, or company events. Make it a success with Black Eyed Pea Catering. And, of course, Black Eyed Pea gift cards are always great for your special someone, birthday favors, or holiday presents, or just to say thank you to someone. They have you covered. I love everything about this restaurant. It's Maha. It's locally sourced. I know you'll love it as well. So support local. Keep it in Colorado. And visit the Black Eyed Pea near you. Will continue. You're listening to The Jeff and Bill Show.
This is Denver's Talk Leader, News Talk 710, KNUS.
Wake up, Denver. There's no better place to start your morning than IHOP, where the pancakes are fluffy, the coffee is hot, and the smiles are endless. Wednesday, August 27th, join Jeff and Bill as they broadcast their show live from IHOP at 1595 South Colorado Boulevard in Denver. You're officially invited to be part of the excitement. Come grab your favorite breakfast and watch the Jeff and Bill Show in action from 6 to 10 a.m. Don't forget to try the special Jeff and Bill breakfast. Pancakes, any style eggs, and crispy bacon, all for just $7.10. It's a deal as good as their hot takes. All they need is you. Bring your appetite, bring your friends, and kick off your day with great food and great conversation. See you Wednesday, August 27th at IHOP.
Welcome back to the Jeff and Bill Show. Denver Gazette reporting Denver remains the only Colorado city on the federal sanctuary jurisdictions list. Denver remains the only Colorado municipality on the U.S. Department of Justice's updated list of sanctuary jurisdictions. Remember old Mikey? Mikey was so bold. He was so brave. His wife, actually, I think, is an attorney, and I think she kind of helped temper down some of the initial statements he had after Donald Trump got elected. I'll go to jail to defend my illegal immigrants. I'm going to sick the police on those ICE agents, and civil war will be unleashed. And then his wife, I think, said, now, honey, we don't want the mayor in prison. You're not Nelson Mandela. And he walked back some of it. But Denver's still on the list. Released Tuesday morning, the updated list identified 22 cities and counties around the country, a significant decrease from the more than 500 named in the initial DOJ report. Do you remember when this first came out in Weld County?
Yeah.
Boebert jumped into action saying, no, guys, they're not part of the problem. The update comes as Denver, along with nearly 50 other jurisdictions, is suing the Trump administration over its threats to withhold federal funding. Earlier, the Trump administration sued Denver and Colorado, asking a judge to overturn state and city policies restricting local cooperation with federal immigration officials. I think we're past the point right now where Democrats kind of say, no, we're not a sanctuary state. Remember that? Jared Polis keeps saying, no, we're not a sanctuary state. All right, your attorney general is suing a deputy because he just informed ICE that he had stopped an illegal immigrant. I think that's the definition of being a sanctuary. When your own attorney general, and then they also went after Polis for providing data. So you went after the governor himself for providing data to federal immigration officials. Yeah, I think we're at the point of admitting we're all a sanctuary state right now. Even as President Trump continues to willfully ignore the rule of law by bullying cities into doing his dirty work, Denver will always stay true to our values. Denver Mayor Mike Johnston said in a statement last month when the city filed its lawsuit over federal funding. Time and time again, Denver has shown that we can enforce the law without fear or favor and work with federal authorities to bring criminals to justice. Can you really, Mikey, enforce the law? I mean, city council's turning off those little license plate readers. In fear of ICE coordination, Johnston and Denver's policies have been at odds with Trump and his administration's immigration priorities since the president assumed office in January. Johnston made headlines back then saying he's willing to go to jail to defend his city's immigration stance. Statement that invited both praise and criticism. Now, Bill, we flew out and were there when Mikey Johnston had to answer for some of his policies before a House committee that included friend of the show, Congresswoman Lauren Boebert, and I sat right behind Mayor Mikey.
Yeah, you did.
It was Mayor Mikey, his little group of attorneys. By the way, he's billed the city $550,000 for these attorneys. Jeez. $500,000.
That's ridiculous. That's not good.
Just remember that, employees that are being laid off this month out of the city of Denver. Yeah. The attorneys over at, I forget the law firm, but they're making good money. Yeah. And they're in Washington, D.C., remember.
The other part is that, again, okay, I am not at that level, nor is anybody ever going to call me to testify in front of a Senate committee, but what in the hell did they think that he was going to say there was going to be in legal trouble? I mean, seriously. It just seemed like a lot of money spent on a lot of stupidity, because you probably could get the average high school speech and debate team and pay them with soda and pizza, and they could have given you just as much of a good run-up as far as what you needed to cover.
I was there when Anna Paulina Luna, and I interviewed her right afterwards, said, I am referring you, Mayor Mike Johnston, for criminal violation of law to the FBI. She referred him to the Department of Justice. Now, I don't know where that's gone, and maybe it's being investigated at this point.
I'm glad you brought that up, because that's my big question. We're 6 months into the administration right now. There was a lot of big talk coming out of the White House about arresting the politicians in charge of these sanctuary cities. They're violating the law. They're helping crime. They're... And even Anna Paulina Luna said, I am referring Mayor Mike Johnston to the Department of Justice. So he can be arrested. And I remember the loud cheering that happened here on the Jeff and Bill Show. It was a, oh, where is it? Where is it? It can't be this
Bill,
hard.
The wheels of justice turn slow.
I know, but here's the idea: is it can't. If there is a violation, how difficult is it to walk through this particular one? The dude that stood there and said, "I will get people to stop any ice at the county border."
Remember Tom Homan said, "I'll help facilitate this."
Yeah, exactly. So we know that.
Come on, Trump admin.
Homeland Security is on this. We know that, and so we know it's there.
Willing to go?
Where is it? Next thing is, where is it? Is this, and for me, what I'm thinking is this is, and what it's turning out to be, at least, where I'm looking at, is just a lot of tough talk from the White House not following up.
No, hold on. It's coming.
Where is it?
It's coming.
How
Have
long?
faith.
How, again?
Have faith.
I will be shocked if they arrest Mayor Mike Johnston in Denver. I'll be very, very, very shocked. Less surprised if they arrest anybody, but I'm still going to be very, very surprised that they arrest any
Bill,
politician
I'll give you this.
for this.
Well, if this all ends up just tough talk and doesn't go anywhere, I will be disappointed because, look, you don't necessarily have to put them in leg irons, but, we've cut off some funding. There's lawsuits going back and forth. But I think I'd like to see a lot of pressure put on Denver and Colorado and Phil Weiser. This yahoo that's suing deputies,
them, yeah.
Deputies, I got that wrong, suing deputies because they simply communicated with ICE. Put more pressure on them. All right, we've got You Choose the News coming up. You're listening to The Jeff and Bill Show.
This is Denver's talk leader, News Talk 710, KNUS.
back to the Jeff and Bill Show. It's that time of the morning. We like to give you what you really need to get going this morning, and that's some You Choose the News, Mr. Bill.
Yes, it is that time of the morning where we play everybody's favorite fake radio news game show. It's You Choose the News. Yeah, you know this game. It's where I browse interwebs for moments, find really dumb stories. It's remarkably easy. There's some stupid stuff out there. You see the stuff I can't bring on the air. And then I give them even more ridiculous headlines to play this fake radio news game show. Why would we possibly do this on KNUS at 6:50 in the morning? Because those in charge have no idea that we take the airwaves and gain control. This is what happens when Jeff and I are left unsupervised. That's why every time they send us out on remote, they always send someone from the station with us, because they know what would happen. And they're right. And as always, we bring in Blake Olson from the news department on this one. Gentlemen, here are your stories for this Wednesday. Headline number 1, just like Mom used to make. Headline number 2, it's about nature. Headline number 3, name your price. And headline number 4, checked and verified. Mr. Hunt.
Checked and verified.
Checked and verified. OpenAI's brand new ChatGPT agent looks like it's really getting into the human side of things. This was remarkable. Recently, it was posted online that ChatGPT's agent was able to defeat the anti-bot verification. You know, the checkbox that says, I'm not a robot?
Yeah.
Well, the robot clicked it just fine and proved that it was not a robot.
Do you know how they check that?
It has to do with the movement of your mouse. Yeah, as far as how it moves. Yeah, because
so they just hack that.
Yeah. So what it did is, because what they're looking for, is straight lines, and so the computer will go immediately to where it is, quickest. Way to get between two distances, where a human kind of wiggles around a little bit. Well, the agent has a feature that allows OpenAI's assistant to control its own web browser, and within a sandbox environment, basically, it was tested to see if it could pass that CAPTCHA, the completely automated public trusting test that they say, can you pick out all these stoplights or these buses? Well, the first one is, click that I'm not a robot. Well, OpenAI went ahead and clicked, I am not a robot, and provided narration while doing so, according to the person that had screenshots. It said, I am now checking this to show that I am not a robot. This step is necessary.
Awesome.
Yeah, it said, this step is necessary to prove I am not a bot and proceed with the assigned action. And it said, I am proving that I'm not a bot. And they kept going. Yeah. So, yeah, good job.
It can lie.
Yes, it can. It can. And so now it can defeat the I am not a robot. Now maybe that thing should just be the check mark, I am a robot. Maybe that's an easier one. Okay. Now, Blake Olson, just like Mom used to make, it's about nature or name your price.
Name your price.
Yeah, name your price. A Kia dealership and former customer are entangled in a dispute that started as a questionable repossession and has sprawled into a really bizarre situation over a name. Now, it starts with Tia McCreary. She bought a 2022 Kia K5 at Taylor Kia of Lima, Ohio last February. She got a note through Global Lending Services that provided preliminary approval for her to receive the car loan. Later, they said, well, I'm sorry, the loan actually isn't approved because your income is not sufficient to substantiate the loan in the requested amount. Well, she didn't want to give the car back, and the dealership repoed it in March of last year. Well, Tia was really mad. It felt like she'd been taken advantage of. So she decided, what can I do? What can I possibly do? During a little bit of an internet search, she realized something remarkable. Look at that. Taylor Kia of Lima forgot to register their name as a trademark. Guess what Tia did? Registered the name, Taylor Kia of Lima, and then sent them a cease and desist order. Yes, she has filed a complaint against the dealership's parent company and the leader in Allen County Common plea courts alleging fraud. She also went to get an injunction to stop the dealer from doing business under that name without her consent. She's using it to say if the business doesn't exist under that name, I get my car back. So they're actually arguing right now about who controls that name and is going through court. Yeah, she has the name of the dealership now. So yes, check your registered trademarks, kids. Yeah, someone else could own your business by tomorrow, or at least the name of it.
Interesting.
I know. It's like when the politicians forget to renew the trademark or the
or
the
get their
domain
own
saying
URLs.
on their own name, for the URLs.
So
Yeah,
that happened to
Oh,
our
yeah.
speaker
Yes.
McCluskey.
Yes,
JulieMcCluskey.com is owned by a conservative.
Yes, which is, again, I appreciate when that happens. Alrighty. Final choice this morning, Mr. Hunt. Just like Mom used to make, or It's About Nature?
Just like Mom used to make.
Just like Mom used to make. You know, it is really hot in Denver right now. Remember when you were a kid and you'd go to the ice cream store, you get that ice cream and you're looking at it and there was nothing better. It tastes fantastic. And that's what Frida, the company, wants to do. Take you back to your childhood. Have you enjoy that ice cream just like Mom used to make. Now, Frida's a company around for its baby products, but they've got a brand new product on the market right now. They've teamed up with small batch ice cream maker Oddfellows to introduce breast milk ice cream.
Oh, God.
Now, here's the thing. It is not made with real breast milk, but what they do is they go after the taste. The breast milk ice cream is supposed to taste like freshly expressed, oddly familiar tastes and combining sweet and salty notes, a hint of honey. They say it's a distinct yellow colostrum-like color, and you can order it. Go to Frida.com. You can get your breast milk ice cream. There's going to be available only for a limited time. They will have pop-up locations in Brooklyn, New York coming around, but again, national shipment is available. Frida.com. If you want to try out the breast milk ice cream that, again, is not made with breast milk but does taste like breast milk, or if you have someone you need revenge on coming up in the future, again, serve them the breast milk ice cream and tell them afterwards.
I guarantee you will not sell as well as Sydney Sweeney's bathwater.
Probably not, but again.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Who's on the carton?
Hey, there we go. There's a joke I want to say there about breast milk and Sydney Sweeney that I'm not going to make. You guys can complete that on your own. It's a do-it-yourself joke to go ahead and get in trouble. That's it. That's the end of it. You choose the news. Back to you, sir.
We'll continue. You're listening to The Jeff and Bill Show.
This is 710 KNUS.